Make sure everyone's here. Okay, good afternoon, and thank you all for coming, and welcome to Hingham. I am very proud to have been asked to host this event. Back in January of 2018, Hingham started discussions on this year's dredging project. During this effort, the Polito administration agreed to fund a dredging program for municipalities. This was such welcome news and is a vital program to help harbor towns continue to realize the economic benefits of our harbors. This program is consistent with the cooperation municipalities have received from this administration, and is in keeping with the promises made to support local communities. The Polito administration has been a big supporter of our harbor efforts here in Hingham for a long time, and not only here with this dredging project, but also via the vital funding support provided by the Seaport Economic Council. Working together, our shared vision of a beautiful, economically vibrant harbor is really taking shape. So on behalf of the town of Hingham and the Board of Selectmen, I want to personally thank Lieutenant Governor and the administration for the support it provides the town of Hingham. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for making the efforts to be here personally. I know there's a lot of extreme weather that is making it difficult for everyone to get around. I want to thank Representative Tim Whalen for being here today. I know you have a very busy week. Thank you so much for delivering a budget that's under review now. Contains additional aid and assistance to our cities and towns, especially our schools. So we are so grateful, and thank you. I know the representative is monitoring the weather in the Cape area, specifically Dennis and Yarmouth. There's an extreme situation that's coming through that area. So I know that you may have to come and go and keep me informed. I thank you. So today is I love these programs, especially being the chair of the Seaport Economic Council. We've done a lot of work together with our coastal community. Senator, I didn't see you here. I would give you equal acknowledgement for your efforts with the budget. Thank you so much. A lot of good things to be able to review and hopefully confirm soon, and then be able to work on with you. But this isn't a program, the dredging program that we piloted last year. It came after a lot of input from all of you as the officials who are the stewards of the coastal infrastructure along the shores of Massachusetts. As many of you know, we have 78 coastal communities, and in each one there are assets and things that need to be either improved or maintained or even built in a more resilient fashion to address the changes that the climate is bringing to all of us. After coming through now 4 years as the chair of the Seaport Economic Council and listening to you, every single, I think, community that I've visited have used that one word, dredging, as a concern. And so I knew that this was a matter that needed some partnership around. And I would bring it forward back to our team at the State House and say, dredging. Every time they'd see me coming, they'd be like, we know, it's dredging. Yeah. So last year we were able to start that program and partner with you. You know, these are great opportunities for us to work together. We bring some of our resources at the state level, and you bring some of your local resources, and then we can actually get the job done. In 2018, $3.6 million of state funds unlocked about $5 million of local funds to improve conditions in harbors and ports in 13 communities. This year, we are announcing $4.1 million of state dollars for the navigational saltwater dredging program to impact 5 communities. And you are here, except for one, Nantucket, which I visited with last Friday to grant $500,000 for Pulpus Harbor. That's an interesting harbor if you haven't visited. They have 46 ferry trips a day. Even though a seasonal harbor for the most part, it's about 13,500 vessels coming through that harbor, just to compare with some of the activity that you manage in your communities. The Seaport Economic Council as well, with a lot of your input, has shared its resources with you around planning, a lot of harbor plans, maritime centers and facilities being improved or built. Hingham has had some success with that program, receiving $700,000 toward your maritime center and $370,000 for docking floats, as an example of the kinds of funds that the Seaport Economic Council is able to share with our coastal communities. So $39 million reached 83 projects over the course of the last 4 years. And in every single project, we measure getting input from the community, what that means. And what it's doing is allowing for more moorings to be placed, which means additional fees that can come back in to the community to manage the harbor activities. It might mean more activity at your dock, so you could create more jobs and opportunities, bringing more people into your downtown area to visit your restaurants, your shops, places that you offer along your harborfront. As examples. So we wanted to make sure that whether it was a deep water port like New Bedford, which I just visited, or a harbor like Hingham, that you're maximizing the potential with the access to the coastline and using the assets that you have or want to have to bring more economic activity to your community. That means more tax revenue, means more jobs, puts more money back into your municipal services. So that was the whole point behind it. And when you come and get to visit other communities, you can really appreciate, how your team might address some of these issues and what your community has to offer. I mean, I didn't realize that the Hingham's boat ramp supports 2 commercial haul and launch services and 1 mooring repair enterprise. It is one of only 3 ramps operated by the Mass Office of Fishing and Boating Access that provides access to the Boston Harbor. So that's a really important function, and it makes it even more so, the investment from the state, important to do. So I want to come here just to say thank you to all of you as municipal officials, as public safety officials, for caring so much about this infrastructure and for applying for the grants that are offered through the dredging program. Because the pilot was such a huge success, we are very pleased to be able to continue the dredging program, and will continue to receive your request and grant the funds needed in partnership with you. So today we'll start with Hingham, and we are very pleased. Do you know how much you're getting? It's not a surprise. Well, you can act surprised if you'd like to. So it's actually pretty good. So you're getting a $2 million dredging award. It will remove, if you care to know, 62,000 cubic yards of sediment. The Harbormaster really understands what that quantity means, but more so, it will enable you to significantly increase your boat ramp services, including access to over 230 public moorings, and double the transient use to that area. That's huge. So congratulations to Hingham. Harbormasters are very special people. If you don't know as you know, they really are. You do a lot. Have to manage a lot of different activities, and there's no easy task. So thank you for your leadership. I should also note that we received a lot of input from you as well around the Seaport Economic Council, and through your efforts and advocacy, we added a seat to the Seaport Council for commercial fishing. And so now you have Ed Barrett, who's from the South Shore, with an official seat to represent commercial fishing perspective on the Seaport Economic Council. So we're going to go shift up to the North Shore, and I see my former colleague from Beverly, Michael Cahill, also the mayor of Beverly here, and thank you for coming. We're very pleased to grant you $1.4 million, which will remove about 50,000 cubic yards of sediment from the Bass River Channel. This is the first phase of a two-phase project, and will provide all-tide navigation and offloading access for 18 commercial vessels. And if you aren't aware of this, mostly lobster boats, and your annual lobster catch is valued at somewhere around $3.5 million. So that's huge. So congratulations to you and your team. It will increase access to over 70 recreational moorings, and obviously bring more activity to your harbor. Congratulations, and thank you for your leadership. We have come to visit you. Yes, that's great. Yeah, it's a great spot. Okay, we're going back down to the Cape now, to Chatham. Many of you know about the Chatham Harbor. It is a very special place, home to the largest commercial fleet on Cape Cod and the third largest in Massachusetts, with fishermen landing over 18.6 million of fin fish in Chatham over the, in a yearly basis. So we're going to award $100,000 for removal of 14,000 cubic yards, which will remove sand and sediment from the mooring basin and at the municipal pier at Aunt Lydia's Cove, which is a famous spot that all of us are aware of. So congratulations to you. All right, so we're going to stay on the Cape, and we're going to recognize the, did I give you the right one? Did I?
I have Dennis.
Okay, well, we're going to switch. So we are going to recognize our friends in Dennis, and we are acknowledging your efforts to remove 15,000 cubic yards of sand from the entrance channel to Sissuit Harbor, also a very wonderful place. And it serves over 350 vessels and 25 commercial fishing vessels, and is a hub for recreational boating activity, offering 2 public boat ramps and parking for over 200 vehicles, accommodating about 80 boat trailers seasonally. That's phenomenal. Congratulations, $100,000 for your dredging project.
Becky, you're all set? Got it?
I'll have a text to me. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And I know we have our colleagues and the legislature who's going to say a few words, but just before I close out my remarks, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your efforts. You were in the midst of your high season, and I'm glad that we could offer this contribution to your stewardship for maintaining the assets that are so special to your community and to our Commonwealth. As many of you know, my work in the communities is where I get the best ideas about the things to work on. Right now, we are finishing up the draft of our economic development plan, which is the blueprint for our administration that we share with the legislature for the next 4 years. We did this 4 years ago when we came in. The first blueprint was entitled Opportunities for All, and we will put that draft together with a lot of input from local folks and business community for the next 4 years. What we strive to do is to learn from you about the things that are working and programs that we should be extending and expanding in order to continue to share our resources with you, and to identify where the gaps are so that we can address those gaps to bring more opportunities to the regions of the Commonwealth. I would view the dredging as one of those issues that it was a gap filler. There was just really no program that was addressing these issues, and these projects are not inexpensive to do. And creating a partnership program is something that I believe in and I know works, and we will continue to be able to do this, as well as other programs around housing and workforce and downtown development, and the vision and planning that you need to do as local officials, and then the partnership with our administration to be able to take these plans and make them really come to life. To enhance the quality of life, the safety in your community, and the opportunity that you want to see in your region and in your community for the families and individuals who live here today, and more importantly, to prepare your community successfully for the future. The better supported you are, the more equipped with the resources and the tools to do your jobs, the better and stronger your community is. And the more we do this in every community of the Commonwealth, the stronger our Commonwealth will be. So thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your leadership as municipal officials. It's an honor to be able to work with all of you. On behalf of Governor Baker and our entire team, thank you.
Okay, now it's my pleasure to introduce the senator from this region, Senator Pat O'Connor.
Thank you very much. I'll be brief, but I just wanted to really thank the Baker-Polito administration. Just in the Hingham Harbor area, as Lieutenant Governor noted, that's over a $3 million investment in the past 3 years, essentially, right here in Hingham, right in our downtown, right at the harbor where so much commercial and so much industry is there. I'm glad that we're joined by Joe Fisher, a colleague in government selectman here of the town of Hingham. This goes a lot further, and to all the other communities here, congratulations on receiving a grant. But this goes a lot further than just the grants that we're announcing here today. There honestly doesn't, a week doesn't go by that you don't see the Baker-Polito administration out in communities handing out resources, key financial resources for projects that have been in a queue for a long period of time, whether they be in the capital improvement plan, whether they be something that a lot of members of the community were just thinking about potentially doing. These are large, significant investments that we're making in our downtowns, our beaches, our waterfronts, our areas of key economic importance. And all that's, as Lieutenant Governor said, is leading to a strong Commonwealth. And I truly believe, as a former local elected official for 12 years as a city councilor in Weymouth, that those investments that you make into these communities directly allow us to continue to improve on our shared priorities. And those shared priorities are, of course, education, the shared priorities of making sure we have the best, most accessible and affordable health care we possibly can have, and also the key investments that we make into our social services. So because we're making these investments to our communities, we're actually making the whole investment into Massachusetts. So thank you very much for the $2 million for the Hingham Harbor Front and for all that the Baker-Polito administration is doing for all of our communities across the Commonwealth. Thank you.
Looking around to make sure I get everybody that needs to speak. So I understand we have the representative from, or did he just ditch out? Is Timothy Whalen still here? I think he may have just left. I think he had to get back down the Cape. They're having some weather problems, right? So not seeing anyone else on the speaker list. Thank you all. I need to go to page 3. What a great day this has been. Thank you all for coming. This dialogue really strengthens my long-held belief that government is at its best when regional, local, state, and federal government can work together on behalf of the public benefit. So this has been a wonderful day and a wonderful opportunity to work again with the Baker-Polito administration. Never gets old. So I'm very happy to have been able to host this event. This concludes the event for the day. I would thank you all for coming in. Please feel free, any visitors? Yep, any visitors to come around the town hall. We have a lot of nice historic displays up for past and current veterans. Please feel free to enjoy those. And anyone that has received a grant today, please come on up and we'll do a group photo with the Lieutenant Governor. Thank you again for coming. How else to say it? It is.